Good morning. My name is John Ostlund. Welcome to the Introduction to Programming with Python course in Mini 1. I will be your professor for this course. Unfortunately, I am in a high-risk group for COVID-19 and therefore will not be on campus at all during this fall. I'll be delivering the lecture material for this course using YouTube, using pre-recorded lecture videos based on the PowerPoint course notes that are posted as part of the course. And so you can find those course notes on Canvas. I'd like to go through the syllabus so that you have some idea what to expect during this course. I'm using multiple monitors, so I'm going to have to appear to turn my head away from my camera here in order to show you the syllabus. Okay, so here's the syllabus. Now I am this guy, John Ostlund, and I have two different email addresses that you can use to contact me: jostlund@andrew or jkostlund@gmail.com. Both of those email addresses get routed into my Gmail email address, so I see everything that anybody sends to either one of those. I'm going to try to be available to you as much as I possibly can, 7 days a week. I realize that this is suboptimal for me not to be able to see you on campus, but I have nothing better to do. I'm stuck in the house. So you are welcome to reach out to me at any time, and particularly between the hours of 7 a.m. Sorry, not 7 a.m. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. I will make a point of being available. Sometimes I am available earlier than 9 a.m. and sometimes, in fact, fairly often, I'm available after 9 p.m. and I'll be available on the weekends as well as during the week. I won't have any physical office hours during this course, but I will set up office hours by Zoom at least 2 different times during the week. I try to set up office hours in the morning and in the evening each week so that people in different time zones can have convenient access to reach me. I will be ably assisted during this course by my 2 teaching assistants, Amkar and Ali, whose email addresses are shown here. Their jobs are to help me with grading the homework assignments and also to answer questions that you have about the course material and about the homework assignments and about, whatever else comes to your mind about Python. They may or may not also hold office hours by Zoom. It's up to them to decide whether and when they would like to do that. This course does not have any prerequisites. We don't assume that you have prior programming experience. We will try to teach things from the ground up, although I will warn you that this is a fast-paced course nonetheless. And so if you truly have no prior programming experience, you may find this pretty challenging. Rather than being stuck and frustrated, please do reach out to me or to one of the TAs if you find yourself getting hung up, and we will try to help you out with advice and coding examples and such like. All right, so we're going to be looking at the fundamentals of computer programming using Python. Let's see. Now, as far as software, what we're going to be using is the current release of Anaconda. Anaconda is a big package of software that includes the Python 3.8 interpreter and its libraries, and it also includes a number of other libraries and modules that are useful for things like statistics and graphics and web communication and so forth. Anaconda will run on all of the operating systems that you're likely to be using, including Windows 10 or Mac or Linux. And I recommend that you take a look at this installation guide video for help in getting Anaconda installed. I will mention that this video was originally developed for the prior version of Anaconda, which was version 2020.02 from February earlier this year, and which used Python 3.7. The basic procedure for installing the current version, 2020.07 with Python 3.8, is essentially the same. So with a couple of minor cosmetic changes, what I'm telling you in this video about 2020.02 with Python 3.7 will also be true for 2020.07 with Python 3.8. In terms of other materials, there are official online documentation at docs.python.org.3.8. There's also a tutorial as part of that documentation that's worth looking at. There is a very excellent textbook that would be appropriate for this course, starting out with Python 4th edition. Unfortunately, this thing costs something like 120 bucks, and so I don't want to force you to buy it. You're welcome to buy it if you feel like you need more references to help you out understanding basic things about Python, but I don't want to make you buy it. There's also a somewhat more advanced book called Python for Data Analysis, Data Wrangling with Pandas, NumPy, and IPython. That's probably actually too advanced for most of you who are going to be in this course, but nevertheless, it is an excellent book, and it is available for free online through the Carnegie Mellon University Library. So if you simply Google for Carnegie Mellon University Library and then search for Python for Data Analysis, you will be able to track down this book and you will be able to look at it online. Another very useful book that's more introductory is this one called Automate the Boring Stuff with Python, Practical Programming for Total Beginners. You can buy a copy of this on Amazon. I don't think it's wildly expensive. It's also available for free online, so you can search for it online and find it there. Let's take a look at grading. Now, grades for this course will be based on your performance on weekly homework assignments, your performance on quizzes. Now, it says in-class quizzes here, and ordinarily, if I were doing an in-person course, we would do these quizzes in class. But since we're doing this remotely, these quizzes you will take online, and you will be on your honor to not cheat. You'll also have to use what's called Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor to prevent you from accessing online resources, and also hopefully prevent you from looking at your phone, looking at an iPad, talking to people, whatever. Okay, so the homework will be worth 20% of your grade. The quizzes will be worth 35%. And then we will have a final exam during the very last week of the course, which is going to be worth 45% of the grade. Now, for each homework assignment, I always like to split people up into teams, because although programming is a personal endeavor, it is nevertheless very valuable to compare what you've done with what somebody else did, and also to have a partner that you can discuss ideas with and that you can ask about library facilities that might be available, or syntax issues, or whatever pops into your mind. So I will be creating teams each week of 2 or 3 people, probably 3 people for the most part, to give you more benefit of meeting more people. And these teams will change from week to week. So you'll have an opportunity to meet, meet in quotes, to virtually meet by Zoom probably, several of your classmates as the course progresses. Now, ideally, what you will do is do as much of each homework assignment as you can on your own. Although if you do get stuck on something, by all means, ask your teammates for help or ask the TAs or me for help to get you unstuck. And once you have accomplished as much of the homework as you possibly can, compare what you did with what the other members of your team did. And between you, you should then decide upon a best solution to the homework assignment that you want to submit. Only one person in the team should submit the homework, which should be a zip archive. Typically sometimes there will only be one file in that zip archive, but often there will be several files that you'll need to submit as the solutions to your homework assignment. Now, in order to get an A on a homework assignment, which is the maximum grade that I'm willing to give on homework, you need to score 90 points or better out of 100. Since you are working with partners, we fully expect that everybody is going to get an A on every homework. The TAs will take off modest amounts of points when you make mistakes. If you really mess up badly and the TAs feel that they can't, in good conscience, give you at least 90 points, then they will have me take a look at the homework to see what I think. But generally speaking, pretty much everybody gets an A on every homework. There will also be optional labs available each week just for you to try. These aren't graded, but can be helpful to you just for practice. Each week there will be an online quiz on Canvas. And these quizzes you will have multiple opportunities to take. I will give you at least 3 chances to take each quiz, and for the first quiz, which is quite long, you'll have 4 chances. In order to get an A on a quiz, you have to score at least an 87.5%. If you fail to do that the first time, you can try again. If you fail to do that the second time, you can try again. And in the case of quiz 1, if you fail to do that for 3 times running, you'll have another chance. Now, these quizzes will become available during the week that they are referring to. So quiz 1 will become available during the first week. Quiz 2 will become available during the second week, and so forth. And they will remain available throughout the course. So if you take quiz 1 and don't pass it the first week, you can wait until the second or third week to try taking it again. But I advise you to be careful and not let quizzes pile up so that you find yourself having to do a whole bunch of quizzes, trying to get A's, taking multiple quizzes multiple times all during last week. That is not going to be a successful strategy. Then finally, right at the very end of the last week, we will have a final exam, which is basically going to be like a quiz, except longer and harder, frankly. I fully expect everybody to get A's on the homework. I mostly expect that people will get A's on the quizzes. So I expect that everybody will have learned the material quite well. The final exam is, where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, and where I will, be able to separate those who are really extremely knowledgeable from those who are very knowledgeable but not extremely knowledgeable, let's say. It will be possible to get an A+ on the final exam. And, if you're in the top handful of students on the final exam. And if you get an A+ on the final exam and mostly A's and everything else, then you'll be able to get an A+ as a course grade. Of course, if you really do badly on the final exam, that's going to pull your grade down. But to give you an idea, these are the numeric scores that pardon me. These are the numeric QPA points that Hines assigns to the various letter grades. And suppose that you do get A's on your homework and quizzes. On the final exam, you only manage to get an A minus. Well, only get an A minus. I mean, an A minus is pretty good. But in any case, then you will get 4 points times 20% for your homework, 4 points times 35% for your quizzes, and 3.67 points times 45% for your final exam. This computes out to 3.8515. Now, notice that A is 4 points, A minus is 3.67 points, but 3.85 is more than halfway between 3.67 and 4. So I will round that up, and you'll end up getting a letter grade of A for the course. Okay, so you have to get strictly a total QPA of greater than 4 in order to receive an A+ for the course. If you have any questions about this or about anything else, by all means send me an email and I will be happy to answer. I'll let you read the learning objectives. It's basically boilerplate. It's sort of obvious things that one needs to learn in an introductory programming course. Now, here is the official Hines College grading scale for quizzes and for the final. I often, depending on the difficulty of the exams or quizzes, will use a less strict grading scale than what's shown here, but that is the official Hines scale. I will never be more strict than the Hines scale. Here we have the order in which the material is going to be presented over the 7 weeks, and here we have the schedule. Okay, so during week 1, at the beginning of week 1, I will make quiz 1 available. Hopefully you will be able to pass, that is, hopefully you will be able to get your A during the first week. Also, the first homework will be due just before midnight on Saturday at the end of the first week. I set up my homeworks to be due on Saturday at the end of the week because I know a lot of other professors have their homeworks due at the beginning of class on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So since I'm doing this online, by having the homework due close to midnight on Saturday, I know that you'll have Friday and Saturday at least to work on the course without lectures for other courses occupying that time. And then you'll also have Sunday to get busy on the homework assignments that you have due the following week. So that's my plan here. Now, the last week, instead of having a homework assignment due, you will need to take the final exam on Canvas during that last week of the course. And you can take it earlier than that Saturday, but the final exam has to be completed by you on Canvas just before midnight on that Saturday, October 17th. Okay, so as I said, homework assignments are going to be due at 11:59 on Saturday. If you submit homework late, then you will lose points at a fairly rapid pace. The instructions for each homework will describe this. I generally take off 6 points per hour. That is that right? No, I think I'm nastier than that. I think I take off 10 points per hour of your homework being late. So it works out to 1 point every 6 minutes for late homework. You can email me your homework if you're unable to post your zip archive to Canvas. Please read these other issues or items about whether you might or might not have a disability. We have a disability office that you can contact, and I will work with you to do what you need for me to support you. Please review the academic integrity rules for Carnegie Mellon. If you are discovered to be cheating during quizzes or during the final exam, the penalties are going to be quite severe, so just don't do it. It's more or less impossible to cheat on homework. You can cheat yourself if you don't do any work, but then you're going to pay for it very badly on the final exam, and you're going to pay for it very badly during job interviews when people discover that you don't know anything. So please, work hard, do the work, ask questions, learn as much as you can, and you'll be in good shape. This comment here about cell phones and smartphones doesn't really matter because we're not going to be meeting in the classroom. And okay, we'll be using Canvas. Particularly now, since we're in the midst of this COVID pandemic, it's easy to feel sort of lost at sea and anxious about things. If you find yourself suffering from anxiety, depression, confusion, whatever else, please contact Carnegie Mellon's Counseling and Psychological Services group, and they will hopefully be able to give you some advice or counseling to help you through your downturn. All right, I can't think of anything else that I need to say. Oh, there's one last thing that I do want to say, which is I will be posting announcements as the course progresses. I try to keep the announcements brief, and I do expect you to read the announcements. So please do read announcements when you are notified that announcements have been posted. All right, and if I forgot to say anything, or if you have any questions about anything, as I said, please feel free to send me an email message, and I will respond to you either by email, or we can also set up a Zoom session for a face-to-face, well, virtual face-to-face discussion. All right, well, take care and good luck.